to the Stevie Mac podcast. So sit back,
What is up, everyone from both part of the world? It's your boy Stevie Mac. Check it out. I have a special guest today. I have Mr. Gabe Rangel. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Good. How about yourself, man? How you doing?
Oh man, it's another blessed day. Another blessed day, brother. So it was great talking to you yesterday. You know what I mean, man. We have a lot of similarities after our conversation. And man, it's crazy how this world is. So so tell me a little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, I'm born and raised in Chicago. I've been out here my whole life. Haven't really lived anywhere else. I mean, I've traveled here and there, but hometown is always Chicago. I moved out of the city probably, I would say 15, 20 years ago just to start a family, get away from all the crime and all the crazy stuff you see on the news because it was getting bad, but currently I think it's been getting worse since we've left there, but we're in the suburbs, like I said, not too far from the city, and fitness has been my, I guess, my outlet for ever since I was probably like a teenager.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I never met my dad like we were talking about yesterday, and it was my
Uh-huh.
mom that got me a membership when I was probably, I don't know, 13 years old. She got like a family membership, and she's never really been hardcore into fitness, but she said, "All right, let me see if I can get this kid out of trouble." Not that I was in trouble yet, but I did get in trouble later. And so she got me a membership, and I remember going into the gym, like in the locker room, and I saw all these dudes, like these big dudes, like they look like they were on steroids, like Arnold Schwarzenegger looking type dudes, and I'm like, wait, I don't know if I belong here. I'm just a little 13-year-old, 100, barely 110, 15 pounds. I was like, I didn't feel comfortable, so I ended up going home and back. I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you know. Back in the day, they didn't have DVD players. It was VHS, right?
VHS, yeah.
Yeah. So I think at that point, I found the VHS, and it was Marky Mark's workout. Remember Marky Mark?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And
Marky
I
Mark and the
started
Funky
using,
Bunch.
yeah. Yeah. So I started doing his little lifts. It was just like 5, 10 pound dumbbells, nothing serious. And I don't think I got really great results, but it was something I enjoyed doing at home. I'm starting to like this little fitness stuff, right? And it took me a couple years probably before I ended up going back to the gym. But when I went back, probably when I was like 15, 16, after I got a little bit more confident, then I started like hitting the weights and just pretty much figured out everything on my own. I never really had a mentor or anybody who like taught me everything I found out. It was more about just kind of learning the ropes on my own. I would always ask questions and talk to people, and it's always been kind of like the thing that my outlet to keep me sane, right? Keep my mind clear, because everyone has their own outlets when it comes to trying to get clarity on what they want to do with life. And for me, it's always just back to fitness, back to fitness, back to fitness, and that's pretty much why we're on this podcast today.
Oh man, yeah, and I do appreciate it, man. It's a privilege to talk to you, brother, because I was going through your Instagram page, and dude, you talk about a lot of good stuff, man. About being 40, thinking after 40 it's over or whatever. I see that one
Hmm.
today. I think you posted it like 2 days ago, and
Hmm.
it's like, man, when like I'm 41, you know what I mean, and it's like I can't lose my stomach for no reason, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, and my wife, she always jokes around or whatever, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't lose my stomach. And
Hmm.
but I get it like tight, but I can't get the abs to flow, and it's always like a little mushroom, like we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's like, man, I don't know how to get there, but working out though, it's like for me, it's fun. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
even though I can't lose my stomach, I'm gonna go over there because my arms are gonna get big, my thighs are gonna get big, hamstrings and all that. But it's just that my panza, it won't go nowhere.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, so what are your tricks or not tricks, but how do you stay motivated to work out?
S- Everybody has something that I think that they're skilled or gifted in, or have like a certain God-given talent, right? And to
Hmm.
me, the talent wasn't really the workout or the coaching or helping other people. That's all coming into full circle now. But
Yeah.
for me, I think the God-given talent that he gave me throughout the years was the consistency, and not even realizing that that was something that I always carried throughout decades and decades of doing it, right? Because even when I was younger, I met my wife when I was 26. That was almost 20 years ago. We've been together 19 years. Just for reference, I'm 46, and I've been working out, like I said, since I was a teenager. There was a period of time when in my early 20s, mid 20s, I wasn't as serious about it. I always wanted to. I just remember just feeling like that certain type of way, like you got to get into the gym. You got to. It was almost like it was always a part of me for whatever reason. Like there was never, even when I was partying, right? Like I wasn't perfect. I would drink. I would hang out, go to the clubs with my buddies when I was younger. But I'm always thinking to myself, man, I can't wait to go to the gym after this. I hope I don't get too hungover and feel like I want to, because that sets you back. That sets you back sometimes when you drink alcohol. And I would hate it. I would hate how I felt. And there was a few guys that I remember they would go to the gym regularly, and they would be lifting, and I could just smell the alcohol in them, and I'd be like, man, did you go out last night? Like, yeah. They're like, if I didn't come in today, I would have been like, I would have felt like crap all day long. So I was like, yeah, I see what you're saying, but it was just it didn't really mix, and that brings me to the other part of the journey, which is I gave up alcohol and a few other things, probably back in 2022 when my son was almost going to be 13. But I guess just to answer your question, it's always just been something that has been a part of me. Like some people are good with, working with their hands, building things. Me, I wish I was. I've tried stuff, but I break things more than I build them, right? So, so I always got to hire somebody. But for me, so like you talk about fitness, you talking about transforming your body, you talking about, and I've learned a lot more things the past couple of years, things that I didn't know that I thought I knew just by aging, getting older. Body doesn't operate the same way anymore, and yeah, so we could talk about a little bit more in depth about anything specific you want to know that I don't mind sharing, because like I said, any value that I could put out there on things that I've learned, I wish I would have came across something like this when I was on my journey looking for stuff. I really didn't. I don't think I found any specific type of podcast or anything. It was more about just going to like fitness influencers pages or people who specialize in like one specific thing, and they talk about the same thing over and over. But this right here is a little bit different and unique. So that's why I appreciate you having me on as a guest.
That's what's up, brother. And going back to the alcohol, I tell you what, that's one thing I like. I'm trying my hardest. I'm almost there, not all the way, like to give up alcohol because you know, like I was telling you yesterday, like you put all this work in, and then you go drink, and then like you feel bloated, hungover, and it's like I did all this work for what? Because when you drink, you get you a gut. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I just wasted a whole week in the gym. So I wasted 8 hours in the gym, and now I go to drinking, and now I'm right back where I started. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I've been trying to give up. I drink socially every blue moon, man. When I used to drink, man, I used to drink like an 18 pack every 3 days. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
figured out, that's not going to work because working out and drinking. And well, I'm not saying for everybody, but working out and drinking, it's like what fire and oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's not. It just doesn't mix, and
Mm-hmm.
it's no good. I don't know if that was a good reference, probably water and oil, whatever. But yeah, just like man, like I'm working so hard every day, like blood, sweat, tears, and I can't get nowhere because I'm drinking, and I'm drinking setting me back, and
Yeah.
and that brings me to this, man. I seen like you were talking yesterday. If you want to talk about it in school about bodybuilding, you know what I mean, winning your competitions. Yeah, I was going through your page, man. Like, man, you're swole, brother.
Oh, not really, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. No, I'm a little guy, and that's the thing that I love about being able to, I guess, chisel your physique or shape it the way you want to. Once we get rid of the areas that are stubborn or the fat that covers our muscle, we actually look bigger than we really are, because that little bit of fat, that little bit of that comforter that's covering our muscles
Yeah,
is what actually reveals the hard-earned work that we've been putting in for all these years, right? So
yeah.
a lot of people when they see somebody that's lean, they always guess their weight is a lot more than what they really are. But I'm not a big guy, man. I appreciate it though. But yeah, um, I try, man. I try.
That's what's up, man. So, I like a lot of guys try to work out and try to get into shape and all that, but they fail.
Mhm.
Um, do you know any kind of specific reason why they fail, or what actually worked for you?
Yeah, when I talk to, a lot of different guys or throughout the years, the main thing that they would fail from is number one, they don't have a structured program, right? They might not have a structured program, whether it's a weight training program or, uh, a meal program or a combination of the two. That's the one thing. And another thing is their consistency is different from the person that is consistent every week. When I
Yeah,
say consistent, I'm not saying you have to be in the gym 5 6 days a week. I'm saying you have to be in there minimum of three. Three is a good start for beginners, and even as we age, we don't need 4 or 5. That's what I've recently learned, that we can still maintain our strength and live heavy like I do, working out 3 days a week. And I just recently started experimenting with that, because before I would think that 5 6 days is what I needed to, as I'm older, because I'm older now, right? I need to catch up to these young bucks, but in reality, less is more, because we need that recovery time.
yeah,
So another important factor when it comes to having that structured either meal plan or workout plan is tracking, right? If you're not, the famous term is, if you're not tracking, you're slacking. When I say
mhm,
tracking, it's kind of like just keep your workouts either on a spreadsheet, an app, or written down what you did previously, so that you can remember next week what you're trying to do and incorporate. I'm sure you heard the term progressive overload, which is kind of like just either increasing the reps or the weights.
yeah.
So that way you're just not guessing. If you're just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna lift 2 plates on bench this week, and I'm gonna keep doing that," and you're not adding the weight or you're not increasing the reps, you might stay strong, but you're not gonna grow any new muscle. And then when it comes to calories too, it's very important to track protein. I mean, if you're gonna track anything at all, like some people don't have time to track, or they make an excuse saying, "Oh, I don't know what to track. I don't know exactly what it is." That's fine. I'm not saying you have to track everything, but just at least try and eyeball how much protein you're getting. It's supposed to be 1 pound per per pound of lean or ideal body weight. So
Yeah.
just say, for an estimate, somebody's 200 pounds and they want to be 175 pounds shredded or lean. That's how many grams of protein you would take per day. 175 grams. Make sure you get that minimum. And then the third part would be just walking, right? Like, walking to me has been the most underestimated fat burner uh, on the market, just because so many people think, "Oh, walking is not going to do it. It's always running, cardio, moving your legs fast." And I've done all that. I've done like the HIIT programs where you have to, 30 seconds on, 20 seconds slow, and you're sweating your ass off, and it's just like, it's brutal. But the thing is, as we age, our body needs to recover from that. So it's one of those things where our central nervous system will not recover. You actually feel it. And I was experimenting with this a couple weeks ago, where
Hmm.
I was doing a HIIT session one day and then walking on the incline treadmill, which is like it's considered VO2 max. So
Yeah,
if you're not going to walk on the flat surface, if you do incline,
yeah.
it gets your heart rate up. So it was two forms of cardio, but they both make you sweat, and one of is high intensity, and the other one's not. But it does get your heart rate up, and I could feel by like Wednesday or Thursday, my body wasn't feeling like it normally does, and it's probably because it wasn't recovering. You know what I'm saying? So
Most definitely, and it's crazy because my buddy John Moore, he was in the military and used to work with him back in the day. But shout out to John Moore. He was telling me about getting on the treadmill and putting it at a vertical. You know what I mean? He said if
yeah.
you put it on the incline, he said start out with five, and then and the next week go to six, seven, eight. He said, man, I tell you what, he said that's all you kind of need right now to kind of drop the weight because he said walking out of vertical is hey, it puts a strain on your body. And like when I did it the first day, like you said, man, I felt every bit of it, and it was crazy. I was like, man, this is actually working. Like my calves got huge. Oh, there you go. You
Oh,
disappeared.
I lost you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
froze up for a second.
Yeah, yeah. My calves were started getting huge. My thighs, like they were starting to shape and form too. And I did more workouts, leg workouts, whatever. But it was crazy. I was like, man, this actually works. You know what I mean? And so I do that probably 3 times a day. I mean, three times a week. You
Oh,
know,
3 times a day. Yeah.
yeah, 3 times a week. I work out Tuesday through Friday. I try to get in a fourth day, but like you said, 3 days a week is really a whole lot. Um, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are my main workout days, and Friday, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I work on the weekend, so I try to get those in. And but Fridays, if I don't go, it's like a relaxed day, and I just,
Hmm.
I just stay home and clean.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, are there any supplements you take, or is it all natural, or what is it? What is it that you take?
Yeah, I take everything over the counter, so I would consider that all natural. I'm not on peptides. I'm not on HGH. I'm not on testosterone, anything like that. I got blood work done last year, and I was normal for my age. I mean, I wasn't
Mm.
low. I wasn't like super high, but I was at a point where I was happy. I think in the 700 to 800. So
Yeah.
that wasn't anything to worry about. So I take creatine, protein, multivitamins, L-glutamine. There's a list of things I take. I take about 8 or 9 pills, and the L-glutamine is usually for post workout. If I lift heavy, I don't take it every day, but I take it kind of like if I feel like I push myself to the limit and I want to recover, so I'm not super sore. It's kind of like a muscle. I want to say healer, but it kind of helps build the muscle back so that you're not experiencing a lot more pain. The following day. It's called delayed onset muscle syndrome. Is when you're sore. It's called DOMS, and that's kind of like what I try to avoid, or why I take L-glutamine to try and offset that.
Yeah, yeah. I take like pre-workout. It's called Temple. It's a Christian company that just came out not too long ago. It's called Temple. I take the pre-workout from them, and then I take creatine monohydrates, and then I take uh, L-carnitine 3000. I
Yeah.
take that. Uh, I got some whey. I just don't know how to take it, so it's just sitting on my counter right now. Uh, but like I just bought that like last week before,
Hmm.
and it's like it's sitting there because I don't know how to take it, so I don't want to take something that I don't know how to take. So I've been researching it or whatever and heard nothing but good things about it. But I thought it was a meal replacement, and I talked to somebody recently and said like one shake's not going to fill you up for the whole for a few hours, especially at my weight or whatever. So I'm just trying to wait to do some more research before I take it. Because my wife's like, it's just sitting on the counter. Why'd you buy it? I said, because I want to take it, but I got to do research.
You talking about whey protein?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
All it is a supplement. So remember how I was telling you're trying to get 1 gram per pound of lean body weight. So
yeah,
whatever your goal is, if you're tracking what you're eating with food, with meat, eggs, like all the regular proteins, Greek yogurt, tuna, egg whites, right? If you're tracking with that, it's kind of hard to get 170 grams. For me, at least for me, it is. It's hard to get 175 grams just through Whole Foods. I've tried it before, and I
yeah,
was actually on another diet when I was doing my contest. It was called a protein modified fast, and what that was protein only, no carbs. And I was just like straight. I was just eating chicken all day, like just chicken, and there was so much chicken.
yeah,
It was to the point where I was like, I got tired of it, but it was all protein, and it kind of like, it's supposed to get you lean and help you use uh or burn any carbohydrate that you have in your body, like deplete your system of that, and just use the protein source as fuel.
yeah.
But I didn't like how I felt, and so yeah, back to the whey. So I substitute with whey, and I usually take about 2 scoops every. Most companies have a scooper that's either 25 or 30 grams per scoop. So
Mm-hmm.
you figure if you do 2 scoops at 25, that's 50 grams, right? That's an easy way to get 50 grams. And usually you'd want to do it like either in the morning or directly after your workout, kind of like to help for muscle recovery.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So going back to your bodybuilding, man, your contest you were in. Uh,
Yeah.
how many contests you said you won?
So the ones I was talking to you about yesterday, they weren't bodybuilding. They were actually body transformation
Yeah, body
contests, meaning,
transformations. My bad. Sorry
yeah,
about that.
meaning meaning I kind of got out of shape a little bit on purpose. I mean, the first one I was already kind of lean, so it was only 2 weeks before the next one started. So I kind of had to gain weight, and I just pretty much started eating whatever I wanted. Right? I wasn't. I'm trying to think if I was drinking alcohol. I was not drinking alcohol at that time, so it was just eat whatever, eat eat ice cream, eat cake, eat pizza, eat all like live my best life, right? And
Yeah.
just watch that stomach grow quick. It was growing so quick. And and I went from I think I was like what was my weight? I think I was like 150, and then in 2 weeks I gained 25 pounds. So I got up to like 175. Yeah, 2 weeks, 175. And then at the end, I'm not gonna lie, I did drink some water just to push my stomach out more. So it might not have been like all fat, but I gained at least 20 pounds easy in two
Oh
weeks. But
wow.
yeah, it was definitely not. I don't know. I don't know what in my mind. I'm just like, let's see how I can, I guess, make a drastic before and after, transformation as best as possible. And that was a 8 week transformation, hosted by one of the guys I was following on YouTube. And he kind of is more geared towards helping either people who are doing bodybuilding or women who are competing. Like that's his bread and butter, like coaching. But then he
Yeah.
also does this transformation contest like a few times a year to help anybody who's either struggling with weight, or just wants to jump in and try and see what they can, how far they could push their body to the limit. And that contest started in June of 2024, and that was the exact same year that I was trying to figure out, like, how am I gonna like get back in shape? I wasn't really, really big, but I kind of wanted to start, I guess, getting leaner or getting to my ideal physique
Yeah.
without having to do crazy cardio and all that, and just find my macros and count calories, because I never really counted calories in the past. I never like put food on a scale. I always just wanted to know what my macros were, meaning macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, so
Yeah.
that I can control how I, not just the energy I put into my body, but how I can look after consuming specific amounts. And that's what I've learned throughout the years, that it's not that complicated once you do it, and it allows me now to flexible diet, so that if there is, a burrito, a pizza, or torta, whatever I have a taste for, I can eat it, and it could fit within my calories and I won't go over. So that's to me, that's something I strongly believe in, is because if you're there's no such thing as being 100% on anything, right? So if you want to try and, they call it the 80/20 rule, and that's the principle that I teach. It's 80%. You get 80% of the results from sometimes 20% of the things that you do the best, right? And when it comes to dieting, if you're dieting for 80% of the time, right, you can cheat 20% of the time and still get results. So it's very similar to the Pareto principle. But yeah, I jumped in that contest, and surprisingly I won first place in August of 2024. Then my wife told me, oh, there's another one that's happening in January of 2025, which was last year. And I had 5 months to get even bigger or fatter, and I ended up gaining 50 pounds on that second one. And that's the story I was telling you about, that I didn't place it first, and then there was a disqualification. I
Yeah.
ended up placing. So yeah, and then ever since then, March of last year, I just maintained. I have don't want to do any more transformation contests. Don't want to get big and fat again. I'm happy where I'm at, and that's kind of where the Fit by Gabe, Dad Bond Legacy coaching, business has originated from, or started from.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna touch on that, but before I go there, did your wife like seeing you swell up, then get back shredded?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she was one of my biggest fans. She's always like, "Oh, look at those abs." That's what she's always telling me, "Look at those abs." And to me, I'm like, I don't know. It's just something I think a lot of men, dads, people in general, I think struggle with when it comes to their physiques. I don't think we're ever happy with how we look. I mean, if you think about it, like, you're always gonna pinpoint or find something about how we look. There's like either, oh, I'm older now, or oh, I got more wrinkles, or I got more sagging skin, or right. It seems like every year there's something different.
I'm
But
bald
from yeah, I used to have my hair like that when I was in my 20s. I used to shave it with a razor.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
see,
and
mine, I have like I used to grow my hair, but I started having a receding hairline all on the back of my dome, and it's like, oh yeah, no, we're just bald headed. I'm good. Just so I've been
yeah,
bald for the past, I say 6, 7 years, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
looks good on you though. It looks good.
oh, I do appreciate it, brother. So going back to you starting your own business, what made you leave the 9 to 5 to help the ordinary person?
The main reason was not just because I wanted to pursue it full time. I kind of did it like I had my strategy, right? And they always say, I know the cardinal rule is always, they say leave your 9 to 5 once you're able to replace your income by your side hustle or by whatever you're doing. But for my specific situation, it just happened. It just so happened to be around the time that my son was playing travel baseball, and even if I wanted to stay there, based off of his schedule, like being in out of state multiple days during the week, there's no way I could have held that job down. So that's kind of worked out in my favor. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot of obstacles I've been going through to try and get the business or just try and figure out what the best method was to kind of, I guess, get some traction. But now that I'm posting consistently, little by little, it's starting to pick up. Not as fast as I thought it would, but I'm trying different methods, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously we met in a Facebook group, so you can't always just rely on one specific platform to either generate leads or get clients. But it's kind of like the more conversations you have, the more people you talk to, the more the more potential you have to help somebody, right? And that to me, that's what business is about. It's not always about, oh, I need to make this amount of money per month or per week. It's about providing value just to help somebody achieve their goals. Because, like I said, I never had a mentor when it came to fitness. I never met my dad, so I don't. All this I learned like on my own, just trying to figure out what the best route was. And that's why I think one of the most important things to invest in is kind of like yourself, your education, what you want to do when it comes to business, and kind of surround yourself with those people that have those mindsets to try and figure out what your best, what your potential is.
man. Speaking about like you're jumping to you went to started doing what you wanted to do, right? And I was listening to a motivational podcast this morning, and it says tomorrow isn't promised. Stop saying I'll do it tomorrow. Stop saying I'll do it. I'll do it next the end of the month. Who promised you tomorrow? You know what I mean? Tomorrow's never promised. And
Right.
he said, like the lights change quick. Like when you flick on the light already changes to bright, and when you turn it off, it goes off like that. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
who's promising you light tomorrow? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever your goal is, you need to basically get off your ass and get to it. Because like I said, tomorrow's never promised. And
100%.
man, there was like 5, 6 speakers on that one motivational podcast, man. And the other one was like, people wake up. Uh, everything's going great. They're on top of the world. And the next day, they go to sleep that night, wake up, and the world's on top of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, it's like, I was listening to it, I was like, man, I'm going to tell Gabe about this when I talk to him later on. Yeah, but
No,
it's like,
that's true.
man,
That's true.
so it's crazy. So it's like, like that you followed your passion and you're starting to do what you love, man. And that's
Mhm.
pretty awesome. And hopefully being on here, man, I can share your stuff out there and probably get you some more business.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, to me, it's about just having these conversations, trying to find out what people struggle with, and a lot of things that revolve around fitness, mindset. It all goes back to how you believe and how you think, right? A lot of people think that if I do this or I do that, this is gonna happen. But what is a thought and a belief? What is how do you get that result is the main thing. You can't think about it, right? If you think about something, all it is a dream. You
Yeah.
got to act on it, you got to execute, you got to have a plan. And like if you're gonna have a goal, the key process to a goal is to have a start date and a deadline on when you're going to achieve that goal by. And that's kind of like why these transformation contests were so concrete for I guess my brand, was because like I'm in there with everybody else. Like we all start on the same day, we all end on the same day, and now it's just about who's gonna put in the work, or who's gonna I'm not say put in the work. Everybody puts in the work, but who's gonna have the best results based off of what they've learned. And another thing I did when I was in one of those groups, or the first one that I won, I reached out to the guy that won the previous contest,
Yeah.
and I was messaging him like the whole time, just picking his brain. Like, and he was cool giving me the info. He was telling me what he did, and that was some of the things I used, some of them I didn't. He actually walked a lot more than me. He had a walking treadmill at home. I didn't use walking as my. I'm sorry. I didn't use a treadmill at home. I used a stationary bike, and I ended up getting like, I don't know, some type of like an ailment by my tailbone that was like, it bothered me to the point where I was like, man, am I gonna be able to finish? Like that was another obstacle. But
Yeah.
good thing I was able to manage following through, staying consistent to get where I needed to be. But yeah, it's always good to, like I said, speak to other people, network with other people who are either achieved what you want to achieve, have been there, right, and take their advice and get value from them. And then once you learn it, you could do the same thing for other people, like provide value for them.
Yeah, like so. That's awesome, man. So I know we were talking yesterday, and you said you've been doing this for like you've been working out for what 8, 10 years, right? So
Oh,
how, right?
go
What
ahead.
right or
No, it's been longer, but go ahead.
been longer? Okay, so
Yeah.
when COVID happened, how did you do that? Because I know you said we were talking about COVID yesterday, and you said something about having to work out in your basement or whatever.
Yeah.
How did you stay consistent when all that don't be around people clause happened?
Yeah, that was kind of one of my setbacks, and that's the only time I wasn't consistent because I really couldn't be. I did buy a few pieces of, should I say, marked up equipment, like two, three times, four times what it goes for in the market. I got just like a little easy bar, a little bench, and my son. It was mainly to get my son started working out because he wasn't working out at that time yet. He was in wrestling at school, but I don't think they had them lifting weights. So the equipment that was in the basement was mainly for him. I used it every now and then, but it was not the same. I was not as motivated. It wasn't like the weights I'm used to lifting. And I think that period of time, it was at least probably 6 months, maybe 6, 7 months that I wasn't as consistent. So I'd have to go back and look to see what I looked like because I don't even remember. Like 2020 from March to October. I remember another gym open that was 24 hours, probably like 6 months after, but I didn't work out for about 6 months. And so to answer your question, I wasn't consistent.
Oh
that's when
man,
that's when I had my turning point of like falling off and starting slowly. That's when the dad bod started slowly creeping up on me, was 2020. Because I think if I didn't mention to you 2021 through 23, those years I was actually kind of embarrassed of either going to the pool or taking off my shirt at the beach or even doing any of that. So it was a period of time, and that's when 2024 was like, wait a second, I'm not getting any younger. My son's already almost 13, 14. I'm like, this ain't, I can't keep living like this. What are you ashamed? Like, get your shit together. That's what I told myself. Get it.
yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, man, I tell you, man, when you say overpriced, brother, I tell you, man, you were not lying. Like, I got a bench that's been sitting here since 2020 in my garage. I don't want to give it away because it costs so darn much. I think I spent for this bench press, I think I spent like $300 on it, almost
Hmm.
300. And it's a regular, it's like a board with a cushion with two holders on it. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, like people were overpricing everything. Then I got a machine weight, a wire weights,
Mm.
and it's like, man, I paid double the price for what it's really worth. And at that time I was at, like you say, dad bod. I was pushing almost 300 pounds, brother.
Where are you?
Yeah, and it
Wow.
was like I was at 295. Like I'll send you a picture when after we get off or whatever. But man, I was a marshmallow, brother. Like when I say I was Pillsbury Doughboy, Pillsbury
Yeah.
Doughboy, dude, I
Yeah.
was huge. Yeah, and that's when I had it. Like, but then back then, like I kind of didn't care what people thought about me at some point because, like, at first I was ashamed, but then again I said, well, if this is going to be my life, hey, let the long hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I didn't really start getting serious, man, about lifting weights, man, until like we were talking. The doctor deemed me borderline diabetic, brother, and that scared the crap out of me because I got family that are diabetic or whatever. I know, some people who've lost a limb over being diabetic and all that stuff, and it's like, man, I can't be a diabetic because I got to be there for my kids. And so I was telling you about the zip bound. I tried the zip bound or whatever. No promotion at all, but I tried that crap. And it was pretty good, man. Good for the first 2 months. I lost like 15, 20 pounds. And then they hiked up the price to $1,000 for a month supply. And it's just
Hmm.
4 injections, so one injection a week. And it's like, I guess it's like Trizepatide or Ozempic. Or I don't know if you heard about that one.
Yeah, I
Uh,
heard of it.
yeah, Zipbound's like a knockoff of Zipbound. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or Zipbound's a knockoff of Ozempic, whatever. Either way, but then they tried to charge me over $1,000 for a month, and I was like, nah, I can't do it. And
Wow.
that's when I told myself, like my kids need me here. I need to be healthy for my kids. You know what I mean? Because they're active, like super active. 4 girls, 1 boy, and 3 of my girls are active. My oldest, she really didn't do too much play volleyball. Now she's already graduated college doing her career.
Hmm.
But now I got Ariana's already graduated. Now she's in college. Jay's a senior. And but my two little ones, oh, when I say 12-year-old and 8-year-old have energy, my
Hmm.
brother, I tell you, like they want to go run, soccer, jog, go run miles. And it's like I can't do this with you because I'm too fat. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
won't be able to. I won't be able to stay. I wouldn't be any good company because I get frustrated because I can't run. And so I made a point to myself and said, you know what? It's time to buckle down, get my like you said, get your shit together. And dude, I started working out, man. I never looked back. My last thing to do is to put down the alcohol, but it's only
Hmm.
beer. You know what I mean? But still, it's. I think if I drop that, I think man, the sky's the limit for me because my goal is 200, and right now I'm stuck between 235, 240, and then once I get that plateau kicked, and once I kick that to the curve, and I get down to where I want to be, oh man, I think I'll be looking like you, all big and swole and shredded.
When did you didn't mention when you started your weightlifting or weight loss journey? Like what year did you start getting serious?
I started getting serious a year and a half ago, and when
Okay.
I say a year and a half ago, it fluctuates because I started, but then remember I told you I was being a couch potato, like I
Yeah.
couldn't find that motivation, so I started a year and a half ago. But then again, if I really got serious with it, I say a year. You know what I mean? Because it took me
Hmm.
like almost 6 months to try to break my habits. 21 days to break a habit, 3 days to screw it up or whatever. So
Hmm.
I say those 6 months was a struggle for me because it's like, man, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm fat and I don't want people looking at me trying to work out. And they, oh, look at this fat ass trying to work out or whatever. And then when I get there, everybody's like me. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to lose that weight or whatever. Nobody's paying attention to me. Everybody's focused on themselves. That was my problem too. Like I didn't want nobody looking at me when I was working out. And that's something I had to get over. And I was going to Planet Fitness or whatever, and it's like, man, I wanted to find a time when nobody was there, or if not nobody was there, like when there's the least people, because I didn't
Right.
want people looking at me when I was working out. Because if I'm doing something wrong, I don't want you to correct me. I don't want you talking to me. I want to just work out.
Hmm.
Now, man, like fast forward to now, oh, let there be 100 people in there. Hey, let's get this workout because I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about getting in shape. You know what I mean? And I think, yeah, yeah. Like I started getting serious about a year ago, dude, and dude, I'm starting to love the transformation. I be posting
Nice.
like chest pictures every blue moon or whatever. People laugh at it, or whatever. But like, look, you can laugh all you want, but I knew where I came from and where I was at to where I'm at now. I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
y'all can laugh because you know what? This big boy is turned to a skinny boy soon.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, man, if people want to find you uh, for any advice or anything, or to holler at you to be a part of your business or whatever, not be a part of it, but try to join your workout plans or whatever, how do they find you?
So right now, currently, I'm just on Instagram. I'm thinking about branching off to YouTube pretty soon. But I'm sure it's gonna be the same name, but it's just Fit by Gabe.
Get by Gabe, and
Yeah, it's my handle.
I'll put your link on the bottom. I'll go to your page, copy your link, and I'll put it on the bottom of the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. I'll put it all on there. If that's
Cool.
okay with you, if you're cool with that.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So what you got going on later on today? Work out again? I know you said you had sports to do today.
I actually I got a meeting with somebody at 11 p.m. my time. He's in California, so it's 9 o'clock his time, but it's a little late for me. So yeah, I got to check with my son because he just got back from baseball practice. I'm not sure if he wants to go to the gym today. We went yesterday. I'm not really sore. I felt like I went kind of heavy. It's weird because sometimes you lift heavy and you're like, wait, I haven't done this exercise in a while. Because we went to a different gym. Right? I go to Planet 2 and we also got various LA fitness memberships.
Yeah.
They're not that great, but that's the story of when I started when I was 13. I was grandfathered in to Bally Total Fitness before LA Fitness bought them out at $8 a month. They
Oh,
raised it. Yeah, they raised it two times in the what 20 23 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23 years since 20, wait, is my math right? I was 13. No, 30. I'm talking about 30 years. I'm 40. I'm 46. 30 years. So they raised it twice. Once when it was still Bally's, and then once when LA Fitness bought it out. And I'm
Mhm.
only paying $12 a month. I can't throw that away.
Oh, you cannot, man. You
I
not
can't.
at all.
I mean, to me, like you said, iron is iron. I don't care who's in there. I don't care if they're corporate. I don't care if these people are never changed their physiques. It don't matter. I don't like. I'm in there to do me, work out with my son. If anybody needs tips or helps out or needs some advice, I'll help them out. But I'm not the type of person to correct people. I used to do that when I was younger, but
Yeah.
nah, I don't want to. I don't do that anymore. So yeah, that's about it for today. Hang out with the wifey for a little bit before she goes to bed because I'm a night owl. I stay up kind of late. I a lot of my videos and a lot of stuff I do like after midnight. So
Yeah.
like since I'm on my own schedule, but I think I got to start waking up doing that 5 a.m. thing and see how that works. Just see how productive I could be in the early morning because sometimes I go to bed super super like early in the morning. But yeah, for the most part, that's the life of being a baseball dad, a husband, father, trying to situate this business is just grind, grind, grind.
That's what's up, brother. Yeah. Early mornings, man. Like I'm a morning person, brother. Like
Hmm.
sometimes when I get up, when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm used to getting up at 4 in the morning, getting ready for work. So I get up at 3, gym opens at 4, and then I go at 4 in the morning, and then like it started to get too crowded. Like everybody wants to be there at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I started off like, okay, I'm gonna try at 8 o'clock. Then I try at 9 o'clock. It's like not too much that I'm worried about who's all there. It's like, man, like when I work out, I want to utilize all the equipment that I want to utilize, and not just go and have to sit there and wait. So it's like, you know what? So I tried different times, and plus, I guess I was told too, man, if I switch up the times, it basically tricks your body because your body gets complacent with working out at a certain time.
Who
You know
told
what
you
I mean?
that?
Huh?
Who told you that?
My buddy John Moore. He's
Oh yeah.
yeah, he was an army. He's like a big army guy. I think an army sergeant or something like that, or a major. Yeah,
Hmm.
or a medic. He was in the army. He had an important role there. But he's like, yeah, you got to trick your body because your body gets complacent working out at the same time every day. He's like, your body's just going to go into like chill mode. He said, but if you trick your body and you lift different times, like say 2 weeks you do 4 o'clock in the morning, and then 2 weeks you do like 11 in the afternoon or 6 in the afternoon, your body's not going to be used to it because your body's used to doing something else at that time, whether it be just being relaxed or,
Yeah.
or just being just like regular, but your body's not used to you being active like that co- consistently, so it makes your body work more. So I've been
Makes
doing that,
sense.
and it actually been working pretty good for me. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Um, what was I going to ask you? So if someone like I know we touched on it earlier, so for the dads out there who cannot find the motivation, like what would be your one word of advice for them to continue going?
Well, you said the key word right there, dads, right?
Yeah.
What are you why are you not motivated? Is it yourself? Are you thinking about yourself or are you thinking about your kids? Because that was my main driver. My son was my motivational factor. Like
Yeah.
when I was out down in the dumps, COVID, gyms closed, and I took all the time off, and he's a teenager, he's growing. I'm like, wait a second, he's only gonna be a teenager. Our children are teenagers for 5 years, from 13 to 8 or 6 years, 13 to 19, and then before that, they're officially legal, right, at 18. But then 3 more years, and they're like they can drink alcohol, right? So they'll be adults, and that time just goes like that. So if you want to spend that time contemplating, right, thinking about when should I do this, why should I do this, or I don't have the motivation to do this for myself, think about like your kids, like you did, right? You did it
Yeah.
for your kids. You said you couldn't handle not being able to either keep up with them or be working out or be having energy with them. That was the main motivational factor because before you know it, they're going to be adults, and then you're going to look back at that time and be like, man, I wish I could have, would have, could have, should have, but then it's too late.
Most
So
definitely.
I always say just use your kids as motivation because that's the main driving factor. If that's not motivational enough for you, staying stagnant, not moving the body, not getting into shape causes so many future problems that we're unaware of until we get that call from the doctor or we get that blood test that comes back with, pre-diabetic results or any type of results that we did not think would happen to us because we're special, right? Nobody's special. If you keep feeding yourself things that are not beneficial to you, you're not going to do the exercise, put in the work, then yeah, something's bound to happen, right? So it's kind of like if you want to be here longer, if you want to stay on this earth and promote longevity, then take care of yourself. That should be your motivational factor.
That is what's up, brother, man. Hey, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, brother. I'm going to hit you up after we end this recording. I'm going to give you a call. We can talk a little bit more right quick, and then it'll go from there. But, man, it was a pleasure talking to you. Before I let you go, though, man, if you want to give your Instagram shout out again, man, or all your platforms so we can get everybody connected with you.
Yeah, it's at fit. Oh, sorry, it's fit, the handle at handle fit by Gabe. My name, FITBYGABE. I'm only on Instagram now. Like I said, I'm gonna branch off into YouTube to do a little bit more long form content. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And anybody that wants any dad that wants a fitness regimen or routine, I'm actually doing like a 5-day free metabolic reset, no cost whatsoever. It's just to give somebody all the tools necessary to get from point A to point Z without a coach. Just if they want to do it on their own, I'll give them all that information. We'll jump on a one-on-one call just like this, 45 minutes to an hour a day for 5 days, give them everything they need, and that's it.
That's what's up, brother. But again, man, Gabe, it was a pleasure, brother. Hey, thank you for doing me the favor from getting on here, man. I'm glad we talked about your journey about fitness and all that good stuff, brother. But man, I appreciate you, brother. I do. I really do.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Real men wear red.
Oh, that's what's up, brother. All right, brother. You have a good one. All right.
You too, man.
Later.